Audio article by the Common Constitutionalist entitled, Trump Meets with Possible Supreme Court Pick. The Left Hates Him. Yesterday, townhall.com reported that President-elect Donald Trump had just met with one of the 21 members of his well-publicized Supreme Court selection list. The man Trump chose to meet with this past Saturday is Judge William Pryor of the 11th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. The 11th Circuit services the states of Florida, Georgia, and Alabama. Coincidentally, Pryor served as Deputy Attorney General of Alabama for 2 years under Jeff Sessions. After Sessions was elected to the Senate in 1997, Pryor was elevated to Alabama Attorney General. Small world, isn't it? A few years later, 2003, W nominated him for the 11th Circuit, but the Dems successfully stalled the pick. He was later recess appointed by Bush and confirmed by a narrow margin. We on the right, the constitutionalists, common or not, were concerned that the Donald might ascend to the highest office and promptly go off the rails by selecting some whack job liberal like his sister and not stick with his selections from the list. But Pryor is indeed on the list and does appear conservative. Happily, and surely to the chagrin of the left, Pryor did not attend one of the requisite leftist schools one must attend, like Harvard, Yale, or Columbia. Instead, he attended Northeast Louisiana University and then Tulane Law School. Northeast Louisiana University? What kind of backwater school is that? Isn't that where Bobby Boucher from The Waterboy went? Oh, sorry, that was South Central Louisiana State University. Go Mud Dogs! Of course, to an Ivy League liberal, what's the difference? Now, just because Trump chose to meet first with Pryor doesn't automatically mean he is the one. It may mean nothing at all, but if the Donald wishes to keep to his timetable of nominating his Supreme Court pick within 20 days of his inauguration, he does need to get the let out. Admittedly, I know very little of Judge Pryor, but sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes it's just as easy to look to those who fear and despise him. If the left loves, or at least has little problem with a selection, this should scare us. But if they loathe the pick, I would be safe in saying that he or she is probably a fine choice. And the further left they are, the safer the pick. It just so happens that almost a year ago, the Marxists at Think Progress presciently wrote about how scary Pryor is and that he would likely be Trump's pick. This was a year ago. They called Pryor ultra-conservative and quoted Trump as saying that Pryor and Judge Dianne Sykes, also on the list, best represent the conservative values we need to protect. For proof that Pryor is an off-the-rails conservative nut, Think Progress points to, quote, statements Pryor made as Alabama Attorney General labeling Roe v. Wade and the Supreme Court's landmark criminal justice decision in Miranda v. Arizona as, quote, the worst examples of judicial activism, unquote. Pryor also described Roe as creating, quote, a constitutional right to murder an unborn child, unquote. He has also upheld voter ID laws. They added that, quote, for the most part, however, Pryor has behaved as a fairly orthodox conservative since his elevation to the court, unquote. Well, that's good enough for me. If they hate him, I like him. Easy as that. Thanks for listening.